Hey traders, this is Taylor with Top Pick Trading. I want to give you guys a chart review today. You can see we had this huge downward move that kind of just kept going. Maybe a little overshoot. It was kind of hard to find these lows. But after that potential overshoot, we corrected pretty heavily. Kind of some wacky price action through here. But kind of a weird day overall. So let's get started. So you can see here through the overnight. Yeah, this pretty big move up. Maybe a break a new high if you drew it from this low right here. Then we corrected pretty heavily. And 8 o'clock came right in here. You're expecting a new low on this downward move, so maybe you could consider this lower high, but at the time I was a little worried that this uptrend really just a bit wider and hadn't played out, so I kind of just sat through all this. We're chopping sideways, came down here, bounced at this support, pushed higher, and we started losing steam here. You can see we've got a lower high here, another lower high here. Broke out the bottom, pushed back into the range. Strong move here. Second entry long didn't trigger. Pushed lower. Came back to the EMA here. Pushed above it. Chopped right above that EMA, then pushed lower. And then right here we got this. It's not really anything by the count. Kind of looks like a visual failure. But regardless, it confirms that entry point with a really nice bar. And if you saw this form and the way it moved, really fluent. So honestly, I like that trade. Right at that EMA too. Perfect Top Gun looking bar set up. So that pushes nicely lower. And then we just kind of chop below the EMA here. Turns into congestion, and then we push out of it. We get a breaking new high, pushes lower. Another push up here. If you drew this blue trend line here, we get a second entry short, expecting a retest on this move. Unfortunately, it did form right at the entry point, but had a couple wicks on the lower side here, right above that EMA. So you got a better bar there. I think you can take that if it finished on its low. I did still mark it aggressive just because this move right here also needs a retest. So I think you can consider that one. A little bit sideways too though, so not the best setup. Anyway, it pushes lower, comes back to the EMA, just get a first entry, drops way lower. Nothing through here, it's just so far from the EMA. We get a higher low here. If it wasn't so bearish today, that's a pretty tempting trade if you're just looking more locally. But with how bearish it is, I don't think you can take that. So then we push higher, break the trend line, second entry long, but way too bearish overall. Chop sideways, choppy through here. You get a higher low here, but the uptrend's played out, so nothing through there. And then we get this little bar right here at the entry point again. It's pretty tempting, but it's like a third entry and not really at a resistance, kind of above it. Pretty far from the EMA though, so maybe super aggressive trader can consider that one. Pushes lower, strong micro downtrend. We get a second entry short here. At the time, I was a little worried of these lows, of the trend line being right here, and or even right here, and a potential overshoot. But you know, second entry short at the EMA on such a strong micro downtrend, I think you should take that one. It was a little bit congested. I didn't take this in real time, but kind of wish I did looking back at it. Takes a minute, but finally pushes lower. Confirms this wider entry point, and then we kind of grind down that entry point to the lows here. Get some sideways action right at the potential lows of this downtrend, but like I said, it just kept pushing lower, so it's hard to know where the bottom is. We push higher here, get this uptrend. So bearish, I don't think you want to take a long on that. There's a second entry long right there, but just so bearish overall. Pushes to a new high. Drops strongly lower, then strongly higher. So this is like some range looking action. Big up, big down, big up. I don't see anything through there. Then we get another strong downward move. And technically, this is the third entry right here. Because we broke lower here, then broke higher, then broke lower. So that's your second entry, and that's kind of far from the MA and a little bit sideways. But it does come back. This is technically a lower high. Maybe you consider that. I don't know, it's an inside bar, so I didn't mark it. pushes lower, and now I would definitely say that this yellow channel has overshot at this point. You can see it held pretty well through here. Just many downtrends in this bigger downtrend. Anyway, pushes to a new low, overshoots, and then once again we get another tempting long, but it's just so bearish that I don't think you want to take it. Second entry long right here and a failure. It's pretty tempting, to be honest, but didn't really gap above that EMA, so I didn't mark pretty much any longs during this huge downward move. Push higher, get a lot of congestion, get a lower high here, but right into that potential little support area. Pretty tempting still, but also it's pretty sideways, so didn't mark it. Pushes lower, doesn't make a new low, I'm assuming because of that overshoot. We get kind of similar action to right in here, where we get the micro uptrend, then a strong move down, then a strong move back up. You can kind of see how that's a repeat. But this time, instead of pushing lower again here, we get this really strong upward move. And it's so strong that you can't even get back to the EMA, but it turns into like a spiking channel. Pushes lower. It looks like a break a new low from this micro downtrend, but maybe you want to widen it here. I did mark this higher low that failed. I took this trade. It was pretty tempting, but you know, if you had the wider micro downtrend here, you probably would think you get a new low here. So maybe a reason to stay out of that one, but it fooled me in real time. Then you get a failed second entry short and a second entry long here, but at that point it's so sideways, and I don't like that close below the EMA there. It's a really big risk too, 13 ticks. So, you know, maybe you take that one, but I think it's a little too aggressive, especially after this one failed here. Pushes strongly to the upside. You get a break and two legs up from this smaller trend. Strong push down. Turns into congestion. Really choppy through here, so just kind of no man's land. At the time, also, I was playing this potential spiking channel. Looks like it probably overshot though. So I just really don't see anything through here I like. Pushes down. Now your downtrend's played out. Your uptrend probably, or your uptrend spiking channel probably has an overshoot. So kind of an unknown area through here, and then that's 330. So wacky day. You know, if you're aggressive, maybe there's some more second entries to the short side in here. But these are the ones I marked. Kind of a tough day. I got fooled on a couple trades today, and I stayed out of some that I probably should have taken, like this one here. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Been really downhill for several days now. Let's see, we're really oversold on the daily chart. So we'll see what the next few days bring. I may get some decent correction now. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and have a great one.